Okay, so let's touch on some things. Um, Leaving from the pacemaker and lupus onto during COVID season, I got a blood clot in my lung, and they did some blood work, and they found out that I had the lupus antiphospholate. So now I'm on Xarelto for the rest of my life because my blood tends to clump. So I have to take Xarelto, which is a blood thinner for those that don't know, until the day I die. So yeah, so that came out of COVID. I was sick for about a month behind that. I was in the hospital for a very long time fighting that infection that was in my lung. They did find a little bit of infection, but I never tested positive for COVID at that time. Although I did end up getting it about twice from the time it came out until now, that I know of, that I tested positive for. But so let's speed up a little bit. Give me just a second. Let me speed my brain up. Let me catch up. So we're past COVID. Um, and so, we started the trucking company, my father-in-law, and so my husband began going out, and all this time I'm in and out of the ER, in and out of the hospital with um, different migraines, kidney infections, things like that. Meanwhile, I have lupus, but they're not acknowledging in any of the paperwork that the lupus is what is causing the problems. They're just making it seem like I'm coming in, they're treating me, and they're letting me go. But they're never notating that it's the lupus, even though I'm telling them, hey, this is my cycle. This is what happens. This is my flare. This is how I feel when it happens. Every time I expose myself to the sun, this is what's going on. I can't live like this. You guys got to help me. So they put me on. Geez, see, this is why I want to have my notes up, but I forgot again to pull them up. Um, the one that they were trying to treat COVID with, geez Louise. It's the main medicine that they give for lupus. It'll come to me at some point. I'm sorry, y'all. I'll leave it in the comments. Hydrochlor, some crap. Anyhow, so I'm on that, and it's keeping the lupus at bay. So let's fast forward to May of 2023. So I'm home one day, and I hadn't been feeling good all day, and so for the last, few hours prior to this, I was thinking, okay, in, an hour or two, you're going to get up, you're going to go shower, fix yourself something to eat, and get yourself together, girl. You got to do this, right? So finally, I talked myself into getting up. I'm just feeling awful in every way you can imagine. I'm just feeling awful. So I get up, and I go into my closet, and at this point, I'm standing in my closet, and I'm looking at my uh, little vanity area, and I'm just grabbing things I need to shower or whatever. And so I leave there. I walk back to my bedroom, going to the bathroom, and the next thing I know, my daughters are standing over me, and I've got on a muumuu, kind of like the one I got on now. And I'm coming to, and I'm like, what in the world is going on? And so they helped me up, and I just remember standing up and fixing the muumuu because, of course, I'm laying. They dressed me while I was on the ground, and they really couldn't get it down, so I'm adjusting it around my hips, and I stand up, and I just so happen to be in front of the mirror when I get up. And I can see white stuff on my face, and I'm like, what the hell? And my daughter was like, yeah, Mom, you were foaming at the mouth, and you were shaking, and you were moving, and I'm like, what? So we go get in the car, we go to the ER, and I let them know what had just happened. And so they take me in, they do a CAT scan, they do an EEG and all that stuff, and they tell me that I have some ischemia on my brain, just a little bit of shadowing and stuff, and that they were going to keep me overnight to make sure that it didn't happen again. So this happened over the course of another 2 weeks, where this happened twice, I believe. I had 2 seizures, and then I get home from that, and a couple of weeks go by. This is the beginning of May. And so now we're at the end of May going into June of 2023. And I'm at home. I'm sitting on my bed 1 minute. The next minute I'm on the ground, and the paramedics are there. I have fallen out, and I've had a stroke. If it weren't for my watch and my kids sitting outside in the car outside the front of the house, nobody would have known what was going on. But I had an Apple Watch, and it sent alerts to everybody, and it dialed 911 for me. And when I didn't respond, it sent rescue to me, and they were able to get to me in time. They took me to the hospital. They did the stroke protocol. They admitted me. I stayed for like a week and a half. They sent me home on medication to prevent any further strokes. And then I had another one a couple of days later where it happened. Actually, no. Let me go back. let me go back. The first day it happened, I was rushed by ambulance and they didn't find anything. They believe because I went back the second day by ambulance again, and that's when they found something. So the first day they didn't find anything. Is the second day they found something, and that's when I stayed a week and a half. So when I got into the ER the second day, they said what was going on before the day before might have just been starting. Mind you, doctors are now starting to realize, and I'm very sensitive to the smallest things. Let me just give you an example, okay? So I don't know whether it's due to my heart condition, whether it's an anxiety thing, or whatever it is. But at any given time, I can, and I'll show you guys when I'm done with this video, I can guess my heart rate and I can give it to you on my watch. So I could throw a number out there and I could start my watch and it'll tell you where my heart rate is. So at 80, I'm aware of my heart rate. I feel it, I hear it, it's in my ears. At 90, I'm like, okay, now I'm watching it. Like, what's going on? At 100, I'm panicking and I'm ready to dial 911. Like, that's how sensitive I am. But that's how it is when I let my anxiety take over. I know that I'm safe now. I know that I'll be safe soon because I'm going to be getting a defibrillator in about 2.5 years. When this battery is up, they're going to be switching over to dual. So I'm not worried about it as much as I used to be. So I'm not aware of it all at all times, but I could call it out if I wanted to. I am aware of it when even though the pacemaker jumps in, I am aware when it's low. I'm aware when it's high. I'm aware when it does the atrioventricular block. I'm just aware of it, mind you. So I'm very sensitive to things that happen to my body. So I forgot where I was going with that. They think that me catching that stroke the day before was just the beginning of it, And so the second day, full on, they saw the clot, they broke it up, the medicine was done, everything was legit, you know. So we went from there. And so coming out of that, going home, I was aware that I had brain damage. I lost a little bit of space and I lost a lot of memory, a lot of things from pretty much before this marriage. I don't remember. I remember bits and pieces. Sometimes if I'm talking about it, things will come up and I can etch it together. But I always remind people that I do have memory issues from it. I still do suffer physically from it. I feel like this left-sided weakness plays a big part of my life. Sometimes I cannot use my left leg, so I do have a cane and I have like a portable toilet, sometimes a shower seat, because just randomly my left leg will go numb. It will just stop working. I cannot use it. I cannot support my weight on it. And so I am on disability now. I do have arthritis in that hip because if you think about, you're walking around the hip that you rest on. For me, that's my left hip, and that's where most of my arthritis is, and that's also the problem side too, because when I had that stroke, those strokes, during the summer of 2023, when I came out of it, I was unable to use my left side, and I do remember having left-sided weakness. I couldn't use my eye when I got into the ER. I was conscious and alert at that point. I do remember that everything on the left side was no good to me, was of no use to me. There was twitching, there was stiffness, not stiffness, but there was no stiffness, it was like everything was completely lax. And so, we got through that, we got treated for that. I survived that stroke. And so from there, things just went, pretty much things got crazy, So I had the memory issues and everything. So this is in 2023, and the part I want to tell you about is the discrimination, okay? So when I went to the first hospital, to the hospital at first for the stroke, that day I was pretty much discharged. They said that my behavior wasn't typical, that's not what it was, and that basically it was an anxiety attack, okay? So when I went back the second time, they never did go back to correct what they said the day before. So I had to go in and do a complaint with the administrative board and make them go in and correct their statements on the first day. And then the second day, one of the doctors stated that I did not have a stroke. I had to go in and have them correct that amendment in my record to correct that mistake, because that was untrue. They treated me for it. They have the CAT scan. I have to come back because this video is going to end.